everyone, it's Lauren here. I'm so glad that you are joining me for another video devotion. Today I want to talk to you about the idea of wrestling with God. And that idea comes from Genesis 32, a story of Jacob as he's going into a hard situation, into meeting his brother again, since he cheated his brother out of his inheritance. So Jacob is in this story crossing a river when he has an incredible encounter with an angel who's also described as God. And Jacob wrestles with that angel in the midst of a hard time. He's literally on this transition between crossing into his brother's land on a river. He meets this angel and just kind of goes into a brawl. And that really reminds me of when we're feeling worked up and kind of angsty, and we kind of can pick a fight wherever we are. And whenever I've been struggling or dealing with hard things in my life, I've always, and I encourage other people to do this too, I've always make sure I never stop my conversation with God. I never stop that prayer, even when I'm angry, even when I'm sad, when I'm all the things that sometimes we don't feel like we're supposed to feel as people of faith. I make sure that I keep that conversation up. And in my mind, that's kind of symbolized in this episode of Jacob wrestling with the angel. Because as long as Jacob is in that confrontation, in that act of wrestling, Jacob is engaged with God to an extent where Jacob tells the angel, "I will not let you go until you bless me." And when I'm ever working through something that's really hard, I find that if I feel brave and courageous enough to sit with my emotions and to let God into that space, God has the incredible ability to take what could be an ugly or tragic or just even really hard thing in our lives and transform it into something else. Maybe even a blessing. Maybe even something that is beautiful, can be beautiful. And in that way, when I'm brave enough to sit with those emotions and feelings and invite God into that, or maybe even kind of direct those emotions and feelings at God, that's my way of not letting God go until I find a blessing, even if it's just a blessing of a shift in perspective. So if you are dealing with something hard, a life event, or even just going into the holidays, I encourage you to be brave, to find safe space, to maybe even invite certain people in your lives that you can trust to help you sit and go through those emotions, and to pray to God about those in a way where you can wrestle those out in prayer and look for the blessing that God has in store for you somehow, some way. That's all for now. Take care.